Okay, so today we're going to talk about algebraic expressions, and eventually we're going to get into writing them, and you need to know a lot of math vocabulary for this. First of all, we're going to talk about what a term is. A term is a number, a variable, a product, or quotient in an expression. The word coefficient is the numerical factor in a term with a variable. When there is no number attached to the variable, then the coefficient is 1. An example of this would be n is the same as 1n. So here are two examples identifying both the terms and the coefficient. We have 4n plus 8. The terms are 4n and 8. They are what are making up the problem. The coefficient is 4. That is the number that's attached to the variable. In the example b minus 7, the terms are b and 7, and the coefficient is 1 because there is no number attached to the variable. An algebraic expression is a mathematical representation containing numbers, variables, and operating symbols. A variable is a symbol used to represent a number or a group of numbers in an expression or an equation. You can use symbols to translate word phrases into mathematical expressions. Some examples of word phrases and expressions are below. One key thing that is not mentioned in these notes are the fact that expressions have no equal signs. So please make sure that you add that important component into your notes. No equal signs for algebraic expressions. Okay, so we are going to underline and replace our words with numbers, letters, or variables and symbols. So a number, if they don't tell you what the variable is, you are going to make up your own variable. Whenever you read the words a number, that represents a variable. It is not a number that you make up in your head. It is a variable. So above the words a number, I'm going to put the letter n. Increase, that means to add by 10. The expression that these words make, a number increased by 10, is n plus 10. Again, we're not making up numbers. We are not solving these. We are just creating them from their words. We are making algebraic expressions. Next example, a number b. This time they are very specific with what letter we are to use. A number b. Decrease means to subtract by 20. A number decreased by 20. A number b, very specific. Next one, the product. Product means to multiply, and remember we're not going to use x's, we will use dots or parentheses, something other than an x, because that can get very confusing when we use variables. The product of a number, so again I'm going to use n, and 4. Now, I do not write multiplication problems like this. So I have to move some things around. And remember we learned with our property that multiplication, it doesn't matter the order, we get the same answer. So there's lots of different answers that we could put here. We could put n times 4. That's one option. We can put 4 times n. That's another option. But even better, we can get rid of that multiplication sign because whenever a number and a variable are sitting next to each other, we mean multiplication. So 4n is actually the way that you would see this written, so you might as well get used to writing it yourself. When you see the word than in a word phrase, it means you need to switch the order of the numbers and symbols around the operation sign. So I have a couple of examples here. 13 less than, less means subtract, a number y. So this means I am not going to keep it in the order of 13 minus y. I need to switch the order of the 13 and the y around that subtraction sign. So it actually becomes y minus 13. 13 is less than y. 13 has to go at the end of the statement and not the beginning. 7 more, that's addition, than. That means I'm going to be switching. And you should maybe be representing, seeing that word than very specific because it does change that order. A number b. So instead of this being written as 7 plus b, the 7 and the b need to switch around and it becomes b plus 7. 7 is more than b. And the last one, 11, less than, means I'm going to be switching, f. So it is not going to be the 11 first. The 11 is actually going to come behind the subtraction sign, and it becomes f minus 11. You only switch the order when you read the word than.